Yo, what's up everybody? It's your girl Miracle Alana. Welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing my everyday makeup routine. I started wearing makeup when I was in 5th grade, so kind of know what I'm doing. So this is not necessarily beginner friendly makeup, but it definitely is a tutorial that I think you could follow along to. If you don't have a lot of makeup, then you probably won't have some of the stuff that I have or similar things, but if you do, you can make do. Also, my nails are on, but I am missing a nail because I know where it's at. I still got it, y'all. I'm gonna put it back on at the end of the video, but I am missing a nail because I went and had a crazy night yesterday. Me and my friend went out and it resulted in me losing my nail. So enough talking, let's get into the video. It's the first step. Besides priming, I always take a concealer color that is close to my skin tone. So you're gonna take your concealer and you're gonna apply it, and I like to put it right there. I like to put it right here. And I also place it on my chin. After I put the concealer on, I take a beauty blender. You can use a brush. I also do use a brush. It just depends on how I want it to look. Honestly, I feel like for my skin and the way that I like to look, I feel like a beauty blender just looks better. So if you have a brush and you really want a full coverage look, then I would say use it. But if you don't really care, like me, and you just kind of want to get the makeup on, then you can also use a sponge if you have that, or you can use both. If you want to use both, you take a brush, and you want to take a brush that looks something like this. You want the brush to be kind of a soft bristle brush, so that it's not being like rough, because if you have a brush that is kind of rough, for one, that's not healthy for your skin because you're dabbing the brush on your eye, and this is the most sensitive area on your face, so you have to be really careful. But if you have a brush that is not very soft, please do not use it, because you're gonna be able to see the strokes and the lines and everything from that brush. If you have a brush that's softer, it'll look more airbrushed. So I just take it and I take it up by the corner of the eye and I drag it back down. And I'm patting because you don't want to drag. Now, once you're done, you take a beauty blender, and you blend all of that out very gently, like that. So this is what the brush and the blender looks like, and then this is just what the blender looks like, which is it looks the same to me. But I will say that a beauty blender picks up a lot more product. If you're gonna use a brush, it is gonna be full coverage, if you have a full coverage product. And if you're gonna use a blender, it's gonna look more natural, just because a beauty blender is going to pick up more product than a brush is. Days when I want to go to like the pool or the beach, this is what I'll do. I'll just put on concealer, and you can see it's a very fresh, very dewy, very pretty look. But of course, I'm not doing any of that, so we're gonna do the full routine today. So the next thing that I do is I take a concealer that is not my shade. I also have one that is, it looks like it could be the right shade, but it's not. This is a really, really, really bright concealer, and they're probably about the same color. Yeah, they're about the same color, but you just want to take a concealer that's maybe 2 to 3 shades lighter than your skin color, if you're comfortable. You don't have to, but I take the e.l.f. Camo Concealer Hydrating Concealer, and I place it right where I put the other one. So in the corners. And I also put it on my chin. 40 minutes making art. Also, when you're doing your makeup and you get like really bad creasing, I do as well. Even with the way that I do my makeup, I still get bad creasing because that's just life, you know. Skin is gonna crease. Make sure that you look up, like not with your head but with your eyes, so that you can get the concealer and work it into your crease as well. So just gonna blend that, and I also drag it down to right under my nose so that it doesn't look very splotchy. Once you're done, this is what it should look like. I'm also going to show y'all this side with the brush. Now, it is not a huge difference, but in real life, it might not show up on camera, but in real life, you most definitely can see that this side looks a lot brighter because I'm using a brush. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I most definitely can tell that this side is a lot brighter than this side. And it's just because it's a lot more product on my face on this side, because like I said, the brush is not going to pick up any product. The brush is going to move the product wherever your hand takes the product. So it looks a lot less blended, but it looks brighter. Then you take a beauty blender and you just blend the spots that are not blended. But I'm gonna blend the whole thing because that's just how I am. Okay, so now that you have blended out your second concealer, some people go as far as to put a third one. I do that sometimes. It just really depends on the look that I'm gonna go for. I think I did that yesterday. So that is not an everyday look. That's not something that I do every day, so I will not be doing it in this video. So once I'm done blending my concealer, I take a contour shade, a cream contour, or a liquid contour. Really, a liquid and cream is really the same thing, honestly. Well, not really, but kind of. So I take a contour color and I place it on my nose and on my cheekbones. I like the shape of my nose. I really do. I love the shape of my nose. Growing up, I remember I could not stand my nose, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a nose job. But I actually really do enjoy the shape of my nose. I love it. I think it's cute. I think it works well with my face structure. I remember one time my best friend was like, Miracle, you really go into your nose. And I'm just like, that really hurted me though. Because it was like, dang, was I not cute before? Like, what? So yeah, I place it here. And a good tip, I'm going to tell y'all, I don't do this all the time. I don't. But what a good tip on how to contour and give yourself a very chiseled look is putting your contour shade wherever your cheek and your teeth touch. So taking your contour and you're going to take it and push it in your face. Wherever your teeth I'm touching my teeth right now. Wherever your teeth and your cheek touch, that's the place where you really want to work that contour in. For my contour, I like to take this brush, and you can get this brush, I think you can get this brush set from Walmart. I want to say I got this brush set from Walmart. It's really cute. Look how cute that is. So you take it and you just beat that right in. And I know it sounds gross, but y'all can hear my cheeks touching my teeth. That's what it wants, like that's what you want to sound like basically. So you're just going to take it, and I like to lightly, sometimes I'll go in a circle motion, but it just depends. But I like to lightly dab up the side of my face and kind of go on my forehead to kind of bronze me up a little bit before I do the actual bronzing process. Once you finish contouring, you can see the lines. So take your beauty blender or your brush, whichever one you use, and spread that concealer back over that line. As you can see, it looks 10 times better because it is blended now. So, next thing I do is my brows. Before I blend this, I do my brows first. Everybody does not do this, but I do this. I take a freeze spray, a holding gel, anything, and I put it on my brows because I don't have brow gel. And the reason that I do this is because it makes your brows look 10 times better. It's almost like a soap brow, which I personally like, but it makes them look 10 times better. They stay in place all day and they don't get super oily, especially if you set them. I don't set my brows, but they don't get super oily either. So it's a really good tip if you want to use it. So I take my brush, and this is a really old brush. I've had this brush for like 4 or 5 years. And it's very dirty. I am no longer able to clean it because I have so much got to be glue on this thing that it just doesn't, it won't come clean. So I take my Ebin spray. For this I use Ebin spray, and I just spray it. As you can see, it has the product on there. And I'm gonna try to come a little bit closer so that y'all can see. And I just brush the hairs up. Okay. It's not that I don't want you here. This is what the brows look like. And yeah. So for what I like to use, I use the Anastasia Dip Brow. A lot of people do not use this anymore just because it was very popular in 2015, 2016. And a lot of people didn't know how to use it. I was one of those people. I didn't use too much, I don't think. Actually, my brows were always pretty decent. I don't ever remember when I didn't know how to do my brows. So I take it, I put some on the brush. And this is also a very old brush, but the reason why I don't clean this brush is because if I clean it, it does not work the same. So yes, my brush is very gunky and old and dirty, but it's okay. It gets the job done. So I take, and I start right here. And you can see the lines right there. I start right at the front of my brow, and I really go a little bit in front of my brows. And I just make sure that I'm following the lines of my brow. I don't want to create a new shape. At least that's not what I like to do. And I just follow the tail. And then I start from the tail to do the top. So I start to do the top of my brow. I start from the tail, and then I fill in. And then once I go back up, I take the brush very gently and I make little small strokes in my brow. And you can see how it looks. And then you can see how this one looks. So now that my brows are done being filled in, I like to conceal them top and bottom. I know a lot of people don't do the top. I am one of those people that still does the top because I just think it looks cleaner. So I take a concealer shade that's close to my skin color. Please make sure that it is not lighter than your skin because it's not going to look good. If it is, it's going to be very obvious. And when I was younger, I used to wear makeup and I used to only do my brows. I used to do my brows, wear mascara, and do highlighter. And sometimes it was so obvious that I was wearing like concealer around my brows because you could see the halo. You don't want that. So please, make sure you're getting the right concealer color. And I'm going to cover that up because that's a dark spot that came from a blackhead that I have. I want you round, around, I want you round. So, also I forgot to tell you about this brush. This is a very flat, I don't know if y'all can see, but you can see that this brush is very flat. I always use Morphe brushes when it comes to flat brushes for my brows. I always use Morphe brushes because I just feel like Morphe has the best brushes. I remember I got this brush from like Walmart or something. I don't remember where it was from. Actually, I think it was from Sephora. And it was the perfect shape for a flat brush, but it was not a flat brush. So if you want to make a flat brush, all you do is get yourself some lash glue and the brush, and you're going to take the lash glue, put it on your fingers, and you're going to like almost alfalfa it basically, but you're going to just glue it together, and then you're going to dry it off, put some concealer on it, and just move it around a piece of paper or a piece of napkin, and it's good to go. And that's how you make a flat brush. So to blend out my concealer, I always use a fluffy like eyeshadow brush because trying to use anything else just doesn't work. And I'm just patting this concealer into that dark spot that I have. But like I said, you can use a beauty blender, but I honestly think that a brush just looks cleaner. And like I said, you want to make sure that you do not get any product on, like I said, you do want to make sure you do not get any product on your skin, because this is what happens. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I can. There's a tiny halo above my brow, and that's just because I let the glue dry right there, and that's not what you want to do. After I'm done blending it out with the brush, I just take a beauty blender and I pat that concealer in. So I like to pat. And that's how it looks. So I take the same concealer that I used for my brows and I use it on my nose. And I just put a little bit right there in the center. And then I take some and put it on the nose bridge. And then I take a beauty blender and I blend that out. Some people use a brush. If you have a brush, you can use a brush, but I like to use the bottom of a beauty blender. And now my whole face is concealed, basically. The only parts of my face I don't have concealer on is this very small part. Technically this is a full face, but it's like just concealer. Some girls I know do not wear foundation at all, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I am gonna keep it a buck. You will never go to a makeup artist that is just going to use concealer on you. That's not gonna happen. You need foundation. Like, as much as we do concealer, you need foundation for the look to last and for it just to look better, honestly. It looks good on camera, but in real life, sometimes it's very obvious that you only have concealer or that you only put makeup on a certain part of your face. So that's why I said, if you want to do a full face, please get yourself some foundation. You're gonna need it. Your makeup is not gonna last with just concealer, because concealer creases and concealer gets into your creases and it shows up very visibly. Also, we're in a new day and age where we have to wear masks. If you put that mask on and that mask rubs that concealer off, you only have one layer or two. You kind of need the foundation so that the concealer has something to stick to. Of course, you can put on primer and all that stuff, but the foundation is also good to have, because even if you do kind of smudge it a little bit, it'll still look decent. But let's move on. I just want to make sure that y'all know that, because I just don't want anybody to say, well, I tried Miracle's makeup routine and it just didn't look good, da da da. Don't say I didn't warn you, okay? But also, when you're doing makeup routines like this, it's good to have a powder because you aren't wearing foundation. The powder that I use now is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. It is a good powder. So if you really do want to start baking and setting your face, this is a good powder to use. I also use the Maybelline Fit Me in the color medium deep 30. If you don't have a powder, it's good to get a powder that is translucent and then get a powder that is a skin tone shade. But if you only have translucent powder, you can take an eyeshadow palette that has a similar color to your skin tone, or if you have this right here, you can use the Sculpt color that is in this color right here. This is what I used to use before I got this. I'm telling y'all, it gives y'all a very soft, airbrushed, UK girly look. It is bomb. You can use a beauty blender or a brush. I use both. So I take a beauty blender, and this is not the same beauty blender I just used. Make sure you have two, one for cream, one for powder. So I dip it in, right? And I'm gonna dust it off a little bit. But I dip it in, and with the brush you can place it where you want it, but with a beauty blender you can make it really precise because of the shape. So I just press that under my eyes and up, basically just pressing it where I crease at really badly, because the powder can kind of hide the creasing. So just placing it where I crease, which is my under eyes, and I'm also placing it where I want to use it as a highlight. So I put it under my eyes, I put it on my chin, and then I put some of it right there. And the reason why I put it right there is when I go to bronze my face, having that right there will help create a shape for my face, and it'll help the bronzing process. When you bronze, you want a very soft brush. This is a very soft brush, y'all. This comes from Walmart. This is a Walmart brush. But this is my bronzing brush, and this is, I'm not sure, there isn't like a oh, this is Real Techniques. So I already have bronzer on here because I use this brush for bronzer only, so there's always leftover bronzer. But you take it, and wherever I didn't place the powder, that's basically where you want to bronze. So starting right here on the cheek, we're going to go in circle motions, right? And go on the forehead. And the reason why I bronze my forehead is because, like I said before, it makes it look like you've been sitting in the sun, just getting kissed by the sun. I do bronze the sides of my nose just a little. And so now that you've bronzed, you take your brush that you're going to use to wipe away your bake and you just lightly wipe it away. And as you can see, you look highlighted, you look bronzed, you look beautiful. Now, I take the Fit Me powder, and I don't use a lot of it. As you can see, it is colored. I take my brush, I dip it in, and I pat it off. And I just take it, and I'm gonna get closer so y'all can see. I just take it and I press. So this is more like a press powder for me. I press it right where I put my concealer.
If I told you you were beautiful, would you date me on the regular? Tell me, would you? Well, baby, I've been around the world, but I ain't seen myself another girl like you. This ring here represents my heart, but there's just one thing I need from you. Say I do, because I can see us holding hands, walking on the beach, our toes.
Now, once I'm done pressing that where I want it, I go back and I bronze again. I go in circle motions around my face. Sometimes I do under my face and my neck, but this is gonna marry all of that powder together. After I do that, I spray my setting spray. So this is the This is the e.l.f., not e.l.f. e.l.f. Stay All Night Micro Setting Mist. And it does have a little ball in it. It does have a little ball in it, so that's the noise that y'all are hearing. So I'm just going to spray this, and this is going to make all of the powder just sit on my face and just stick. Okay, now we're gonna make sure everything is all dry. And once it's dry, I'm gonna come back. Okay, we're all dry, and I use the Milani blush. This is what it looks like. It doesn't have a name, so I take my blush brush and it just looks like this. So after I'm done with my makeup, I usually apply beauty marks here, 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 and here. But I can't do that because I cannot find my liner right now. So after that, the final step is mascara. So this is the Maybelline New York, the Falsies Lash Lift. Now sometimes I will apply bottom mascara, not every time, but sometimes. So this is the makeup look. Now let's get on to hair and
you go, girl, you know how I've been living without you. Daydreaming on a cloud with you like horizon. With you tonight is on an island. Yeah. It's about time we're making up. The times you wasn't with me waking up. Now you for sit up there and miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you.
after 10,000 hours, she is finally ready to leave the room. So this is exactly the look that I wanted to give y'all today. A very big, beautiful, easy breezy cover girl. Say not. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow my social media. I post on Instagram daily almost. So whether it's a story post or a main post, I legit post on Instagram all the time. Help me get to 10K. Also follow my TikTok. I post weekly, I guess on there. And yeah, we out.